With over 600 combinations, 200 top decks across 70 events in December on WBO, I'll showcase to you the best ratchets to use so that you can win your next tournament. If you're enjoying the meta tier list reports that I put out, please like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date, and let me know what you think of the ratchets featured in this tier list in the comment section below. The E tier consists of 2 ratchets that should never be considered for a deck, being the 480 as it has 4 prongs that stick out too far at a high height that leads to easy bursts, as well as the 385 ratchet, which is even taller but with a rounder shape. However, it has been reported to break the plastic of blades and should be avoided where possible. Both ratchets see a 0% showing in the top and winning decks. D tier ratchets should only be used in unique cases and not often considered for your deck. 470 is the first ratchet of the D tier with 1 feature in top decks. This ratchet has a similar issue to 480, but being at a 70 height allows for the burst risk to be much less. This can be considered to be run on blades where you would like to down smash or need the extra height. 180 is up next for being a very aggressive shape, but with the 80 height, this requires the blade to be built for tilting, such as Impact Drake 180 taper build, which we did a video on recently. 180 saw 1% of top decks and 1% of features in winning ones. 580 provides a good weight to a blade that wants to be tall and have less burst risk than 480 or 470, but still gets outperformed by lower height ratchets featured higher on this tier list. 580 sees 3% of top decks and 1% of wins. 380 is the last ratchet to be featured in the D tier, being used on Silver Wolf and other stamina blades that like the extra height. It sees a 3% of the top decks and 1% of wins. C tier ratchets are often found more frequently in decks than the tiers before it, and often provide a level of consistency that D and E tiers just don't. The 370 ratchet offers a good level of stamina, but with a slightly higher burst risk than 360. Blades that like to tilt for upper or down smash attacks will often use this. 370 has seen 4% of top decks and 3% of winning ones. 980 is the highest 80 height ratchet in this tier list, and for good reason. It offers amazing stamina and low burst risk even for an 80 height ratchet. Its main downside being that, as with all 80 height ratchets, that it can fall over easily when low on stamina, as well as all 9-sided ratchets has a case where it has low offensive power compared to other ratchets. As such, it features in 4% of top decks and 4% of winning ones. 570 is next on the list, providing a good weight and decent burst resistance. The 70 height for a 5-sided ratchet is a good middle ground for a blade that wants the height and some weight. This results in 570 seeing 7% of top decks and 4% of wins. 770 is a more recently released ratchet coming from the UX10 Nightmail set. It provides a similar benefit to 570, but with more weight for blades that need it. It sees 8% of top decks and 7% of winning ones. Lastly, 460 sits at the top of the C tier, but is also the first 60 height ratchet to be featured on this list. Similar to the other heights, its large 4 prongs that stick out lead to its downfall, which causes a higher burst risk. 460 sees 7% of top decks and 9% of winning ones. B tier are very solid ratchets that can be run in various different combos and see great success. 760 is a tanky ratchet that aims to pull the weight of a blade down to avoid falling over, whilst providing solid burst resistance. Its main flaw is that the stamina drain is higher than the rest of the ratchets on this list, and many even below it. 760 sees 16% of top decks and 11% of wins. 970 sits at the top of the B tier with a low burst risk, great stamina, and can be run alongside the 960 version in a deck where you want to run 2 stamina blades. 970 sees 15% of top decks and 13% of wins. A tier ratchets take a sharp spike in success rate compared to those in B tier, and you will often find one if not all of them in a deck. 560 is an amazing ratchet that can be used for offense or defense when paired up with the correct blade, like Tyranno Beat. 560 sees 44% of top decks and 46% of wins. 360 is next on the list with an amazing stamina, good attack power but with a slight burst risk. It's used on many blades and it is a flexible option if you aren't sure what else to run. 360 features in 62% of top decks and 64% of winning ones. 160 sits at the top of the A tier as the best option for attackers to hit hard as possible. When lined up with a blade, for example, like Phoenix Wing, it also provides a great way to escape pockets to reduce its loss of points from 2 or 3 to 1. 160 sees less top decks than 360 at only 54%, but what makes it better than the 360 is that it wins 61% of the time, which is a better ratio of tops to wins than the 360. S tier is the best of the best ratchets you would want to use in any deck no matter what, and you should always try to find a way to fit them in. 960 is the one and only S tier ratchet, as it sits leaps and bounds above the rest, with the best stamina and burst resistance in the game. Whilst it doesn't have the best attack power, it can provide attackers a way to outspin other attackers who are more aggressive. 960 sees 71% of top decks and 76% of wins. If you enjoyed the tier list report, please like and subscribe to the channel and let us know what you thought in the comments section below.